Hi, this is Jenny Johnson with another centering practice for you. This practice is called grounded, supported, and held. This is a really good practice if you're feeling overwhelmed, maybe vulnerable, stressed. Maybe you have some important work on your plate today that you are nervous about, maybe afraid of, dreading. Maybe it's working on your taxes. Maybe you have an important phone call to make. Maybe you need to call a remediator or your doctor. Maybe you have to have an important conversation with your spouse. And this can be a really helpful practice to center and gather yourself and to feel a sense of inner safety. So let's go ahead and we'll start with the first part, which is the grounding. And what I mean by that is literal grounding. So we want your feet to be pressing against either the floor, or it could be maybe a little stool or a pillow, something that feels comfortable to you, and you can explore and experiment with different supports. I'll show you what I have here. This is a footrest that I put, you can see my cat likes it. I put this under my feet at my desk. And when I have my shoes off and I put my feet on this curved pillow, it supports even the arch of my feet. And something about that feels really centering and grounding, to have my whole foot curving around a pillow that's firm yet soft. So this is my go-to piece when I'm working on my computer or when I want to ground. You can experiment with maybe a pillow, or just for now, put your feet flat on the floor. When our feet are dangling, or when maybe one foot is tucked under us and the other one's not, or if our legs are crossed, or maybe we're only pressing our toes against the ground. It's almost like some bad news or a challenge or a stressful event or thought or even a breeze of wind could almost blow us over. We feel more vulnerable when we're a little bit less grounded. So let's go ahead and put our feet on the ground. And ideally, our hip bones are planted into a seat, and so are our thighs. So if your feet are propped up so high that your thighs are actually not resting on your chair, then that might be okay. See how that feels for you. It might actually feel good on your stomach to kind of crunch up a little bit. But we can feel a little bit more grounded usually when our thighs are against a surface too, so when we have a lot of points of contact. So we'll just take a moment here to ground ourselves, push our feet into the floor, see if your thighs are against your chair, your hips. This is the grounding aspect of our practice today. The next part is called supported, and this is about really grounding our back. We want to feel supported in our whole body. This chair that I have is firm yet cushiony, and so when I lean against it, it touches all aspects of my back, even the kind of the crook of my low back, which otherwise would be kind of a hollow space. So when I push against it, I feel held. So my feet are grounded, my thighs are grounded, my hips are grounded, and my back feels held and comfortable. When I'm here, I feel strong. I don't feel vulnerable. I feel supported. I don't feel like I have to work hard just to hold myself up. I can put my energy elsewhere. I can kind of relax, knowing that the chair's got me and the floor has got me. See if you can find that for yourself, and you might need to find a different chair, or you might need to grab a lumbar pillow. This one's actually pretty big. You could get a kind of cylindrical pillow, or maybe even a hand towel, and roll it up like a cylinder, a tube, and then stick it in your low back and see if you can find a thickness of a towel or a pillow where you feel like all the parts of your back are touching and are supported. So now we're grounded and we are supported. Part 3 of this exercise is being held. And this can feel really nurturing and create a sense of inner safety. which can be helpful when maybe we don't feel like we have outer safety or we feel threatened in some way. Cultivating our own sense of inner safety is something that we do have control over. There are a variety of ways that we can do this, and you can experiment with different strategies and see what feels good to you. I'm going to show you a few. The first one is to put opposite hands on shoulders, kind of like you're giving yourself a big hug. Pushing into the ground with your feet, pushing into the back with your chair. See how this feels. If it feels like too much of a reach to get all the way up to your shoulders, for me it kind of does. This feels kind of stressful, actually. You could come down just to your upper arms, kind of cross your arms across your chest, holding your upper arms with your hands. Give yourself a hug that way. Grounded, supported, and held. Notice how that feels for you. And when I say notice how that feels, I really mean check in with your body and see if this feels tense or stressful in some way, if you feel uncomfortable. Check in with your heart rate, your breath, your swallowing. You feel like you can relax or not. One sign that we're entering into a relaxed parasympathetic state is if you notice yourself yawning or swallowing or having a deep spontaneous breath of your own. So pay attention and see if you notice any of those things. I'm going to give you another alternative to try with your arms in case you still haven't found a comfortable way to hold yourself. This one is putting your hands over your heart. And you can either do just one over your heart and your other hand just above your belly button. You can experiment with different types of pressure. I like kind of a firm pressure. It feels comforting and relaxing. I get a deep spontaneous breath when I actually put both hands over my heart and just kind of rest them there. There it goes. Now I want to take a deep breath. It's different for everybody and it can be different every day. So check in with your nervous system. See if this feels relaxing. Keep getting deep breaths. That feels nice. If you liked one of the other holds better, you can go back to that. A fourth one is hands under your armpits. This one feels easy to me because you don't need to grasp with your hands. Your arms are really holding your hands in place, so you can almost just sort of hang and relax here. There's the deep spontaneous breath. That's a sign that my nervous system is coming into the ventral vagal or parasympathetic state. Notice what your body tells you about these positions. What are some of the signs that this might be either uncomfortable or tense or nice and relaxing for you? What is your body saying? We're grounded. We're supported. And we're held. We can come into this place of inner safety whenever we feel like we need to. I hope this was helpful for you, and I encourage you to explore it and practice it, when you feel like you need it the most, so that you can learn how to adapt it for your needs.